Hi Simli, how are you?
Hi Rohit. I'm good. What about you?
I am also good. So, can you give brief introduction about yourself to our audience?
Yeah. So I'm in my final year. I'm studying information technology from KGC West Bengal. I'm Google's Women Techmaker Engineering Fellow. I have interned with AP Moeller Merckx, and now I'm interning with Google.
Okay, so that's nice introduction. So, can we have a discussion about resume? So, first question about resume is like why resume are very important.
So when you apply to a particular company via the career page or even a recruiter, maybe a recruiter will reach out to you. So first thing that you have to share is your resume. So in the career page, you have to fill other details as well, and you have to give your resume as well. And the same goes with a recruiter as well. You have to share your resume. So of course, the resume is the first impression. Whatever the knowledge you experience you have learned, you put all those stuffs in your resume. So yeah.
So, that's we know like resume is the first step. So, if you clear the first step, then we are able to get the OA link or in the interview calls. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
because by
good.
the resume by the resumes companies filter out the candidates. So there are like thousands and lakhs of candidates applying for a particular position, and by on the basis they have certain criteria. I don't know, the criteria may differ from company to company, and I don't know exactly what are those criteria. So by that they filter out the resumes. So there are certain resume formats that you should follow. uh, there are certain websites that will help. They will give you the format, and that you can take help from there to make your resume. Just like I have used Overleaf, so you can use that. So there are different things, different ways actually by which you can make a resume. So first thing is that the education section is there, then the experiences, achievement is, your skills is the main. So there are these four are very very important. First is the education, that would be above in the that would be in the that would be first, and the second is the experience, third can be the achievement, and fourth are your skills. Then you can include in the experience section, you can make a different section actually, the projects, where you can include the projects that you have made, and you can include the internships that you have done in the experience section. In the skill section, you can divide the skill section in the certain way. So if you are skilled in certain programming languages, you can include that. If you are skilled in certain tech stacks, then you can include that. So in this way you can divide your skill section. So that will be the format.
Yeah. So in general, what we have to do, we have to make a single page resume for freshers, right?
Yeah, it is recommended to make a single page resume. And whenever you are applying to a company, normally for freshers, there is no specialization normally, but still, if you find like I have seen for freshers also, there are roles of a data engineer. So in the data engineers of that company, maybe they are preferring Python and SQL. So first thing, you can learn that Python and SQL, and you can include that in your resume. And if you already know, then you can highlight that you know Python and SQL and everything. So that helps the company to short out you.
So like there are lots of tech roles. We are not going in deeper of every tech roles, but we are both SDs. So we are talking about SD resume. I know there are certain common things that every tech role matches, but there are some specific thing we are talking about SD one role. So like what are the main thing you are pointing out for the SDs? Like what we have to include, what are the pros, what are the cons while you are building resume? I know you must be rejected somewhere by some other companies. So you are working on it, like you worked on it, how to actually worked on it, and then you build resume again and again, and then you your resume shortlisted in Google. So can we talk like what we have to make? Yeah.
Yeah, so normally we are being asked this question from the juniors as well in the college, that whether their resume are correct or not, or can we make some improvement in that. So yes, there are like scopes are always there for the improvement, and it this question itself is a very very subjective question, because like because I have a good resume, maybe because I got shortlisted by Google thrice, but by many of the companies I got rejected. From many of the companies I have received the oiling, so I exactly don't know what are their criterias, like how they have shortlisted me or how they have rejected me, and that is the confusion among all of us, that why a company has rejected me. And like we become very sad after this that a company has rejected me and we exactly don't know the reason. So that is one thing, that it's a very very subjective thing, but still we can follow some standard in our resume. So that I have already said. So those things we can follow. And therefore freshers, while applying, you have to see the in the career page when you are applying for a particular role, with referral or without referral, you have to see that what are the requirements. And when the resume has a other very important use that initially, that actually encouraged me initially to make a very good resume, because you will reach out to people on LinkedIn for referrals. So if you have a good resume, then people will give you the referral. So that is the other other very important thing, that you will be reaching out to people. So yeah.
So if we will broke down the steps, so first we have to go to site like Overleaf or Novo Resume, where we have to find a template, and then we will work on our skill, and then we will add our skill by following certain other resume. Like suppose if you want to go in X company, we will reach out to some X SDs of that company, and then we will follow by reviewing our resume to that SDs. So I think that will be a better way, that they will actually review and let you know that what you are doing wrong or what you are doing right. So I think this in this way we can do the things. So now coming to next question, so we are going to next question. So let me just give me second.
We can do this in.
Hmm. So now,
So
huh, so yeah, third. So now third question. So as you already told me that Overleaf, Novo Resume, these are the sites so where we can make resume. So fourth question I'm moving to. Apart from resume, like what we have to, what you followed, like resources for preparing your DSA, CS fundamentals, projects, subjects, etc. So can you dig deeper into it, like?
yeah. So for DSA, it was maximum lead code. So I'm a lead coder. So I used to practice from lead code. So that is the best site somewhere, I guess, according to me. So you can practice from there. The so DSA part from there, and the projects better if you make group projects, because if you make group projects, then it shows somewhere your team skills and your like your team skills, and you have distributed your work. So there are many things that involves in making a project. Individual also you can make, if you are, if you are thinking that you can build this individually, then you can do that. So yeah, for projects you have to, for us, like I'm in a I'm in a program of Google's Women Tech Maker. So there we have this that you have to come up with a problem statement first. So while making the project, you should really know in and out about the project and why you are making that project. It shouldn't be like you are just copy pasting or something. So you should have the motive that why you want to make this project, and later on explore the tech stack by which and why you have chosen this tech stack over some another tech stack. So you should be clear about that as well while choosing that which tech stack I should choose. So you learn the tech stack, you implement that, and your project will be ready. So this is the way we make projects.
So that's the nice way, practical learning. First, you should
Yeah.
know like why you are building that project, what are the pros and cons, why are you using that tech stack. So that's
Yeah.
nice way. And the CS fundamentals.
So CS fundamentals, you can watch YouTube videos, you can read from Geek for Geeks, and you can prefer some books as well. So there are many foreign authors if you have the time. There are many foreign authors, and there are many good books available in the market. So you can read from there as well for CS fundamentals.
One more question, like are you also giving lead code contest regularly, or you are just doing solving lead code problems?
So, see, I used to practice lead code along with my internship. So, for me, because I had the 6 month internship with AP Moller Merck, so in the daytime, I used to do my office work, and the nighttime, I used to code, this lead coding thing I used to do. So, and contests are normally in the morning. So, it was not much possible for me to give the contest, but I have solved around 800, 900 questions. So that actually helped me. And I have given few contests like when I have the time, but it wasn't that regular.
Okay, so that's nice. So now moving towards next question. So can you give some outro for people who are preparing for placements? Like suppose if अगर आपको मैं फर्स्ट ईयर में भेज दूं, like आपने कुछ गलतियां करी होगी या फिर आपने कुछ ऐसे मिस्टेक्स करी होगी जो आपको नहीं करना चाहिए, अभी रिग्रेट होता होगा, तो ऐसी क्या वो चीज है जो अभी न्यू आ रहे हैं, अपकमिंग जो आ रहे हैं, प्लेसमेंट के लिए तैयारी कर रहे हैं, या फिर जूनियर्स आ रहे हैं, उनको क्या नहीं करना चाहिए?
देखो मेरा फर्स्ट ईयर तो एक तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट, एक तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट इशू जो हमने फेस किया है कि आप कॉलेज में जाके बहुत डीमोटिवेटेड फील करते हो, आइदर यू आर नॉट वेरी हैप्पी विद द कॉलेज और your expectations are higher from you, so that is one thing that you struggle with. So that was that thing with me. So कॉलेज में फर्स्ट ईयर में तो आपको बस ये लगता है कि मुझे कोडिंग करना है, तो मुझे ये था कि मुझे कोडिंग करना है, इसलिए मैंने आईटी लिया है, तो मुझे कोडिंग में इंटरेस्ट है. फिर आप मेरे साथ पर्टिकुलरली ऐसा हुआ था कि आई ऑलरेडी न्यू अबाउट दैट गूगल हैज सम प्रोग्राम्स. सो इन माय फर्स्ट ईयर आई गॉट दिस advertisement from my college itself that there's one program from Google and they are selecting a few people. सो मैंने उसमें अप्लाई किया और उसमें मेरा सिलेक्शन हो गया. तो उसमें पाइथन पूछा गया था. तो देयर वर 4 राउंड्स इन दैट प्रोग्राम Google's Open Tech Maker में. So first was the aptitude round, second was the versant English test, third was the coding round, and the fourth was the technical interview. So I was among the top 126 girl out of 15,000 plus applicants. So the selection was pretty competitive. तो उसके लिए मैंने काफी कोडिंग किया था उस प्रोग्राम को क्रैक करने के लिए. एंड उस प्रोग्राम को क्रैक करने के बाद मुझे काफी गूगलर्स से इंटरेक्ट करने का मौका मिला. मेरे काफी सारे गूगलर्स मेरे मेंटर बने, या गूगल में बहुत अच्छे कनेक्शंस बने बिकॉज ऑफ दैट प्रोग्राम. सो एंड उस प्रोग्राम में टैलेंट स्पिंट है, वो वहाँ पे कोचेस थे, वहाँ पे इंस्ट्रक्टर्स थे जो हमें सिखाते थे. वन ऑफ माई फेवरेट इंस्ट्रक्टर इज अशोकन, सो ही टॉट मी अ लॉट ऑफ स्टफ्स. तो वहाँ पे इंस्ट्रक्टर्स हमें काफी कुछ सिखाते थे. तो वो उन चीजों वहां से भी बहुत कुछ सीखा है कि कैसे इंडस्ट्री लेवल कोडिंग की जाती है. सो इन द फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड ईयर इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू ग्रैप्स दोस थिंग बिकॉज दे वेर फोकसिंग ऑन द इंडस्ट्री लेवल कोड, नॉट जस्ट इन. ऑफ कोर्स you have to be good in building logic and cracking solving problems. You should have a good problem solving skill, but problem solving skills, but at the same time you should have a good knowledge about how you have to write that code, and that is actually very important in Google interviews as well. And that has helped me in cracking the Google interview, because while giving the Google interview you have to keep in mind that what kind of variable naming you are doing, what kind of function naming you are giving. And in the Google particularly, I don't know about any other company, like in Amazon I have given the interview and some other companies also have given the interview, but in Google particularly, after cracking the logic and after dry running your dry run the code after you have written the code, but you have to write a correct and executable code. So that is the very very required thing while you are giving the Google interview. You have to start with the brute force and you have to keep on optimizing that, and in the end you have to write correct and executable code. So that is important. So when you are writing a code, you are just naming your variables and S and K, T. In this way, if you are writing the variables, that is actually a red flag uh, in your coding round in the interview. So that you shouldn't do that. You have to keep in mind. So if you are defining some variables, so define that variable just above the function or just above a method where you are going to use that variable. So it shouldn't be like that in the class you have defined that variable in the very initial very initially, and very late you are using those variables. So it would become very difficult for the readers to read your code. So you have to write the code in this way that it is readable. So you have to write readable code. You have to make a modular code. You have to write a modular code because it's better to write things in functions. So for a reader's perspective or from the interviewer's perspective, it makes them easy to read the code. If you have written everything in a single function, that it's very messy. But instead of that, if you have make functions out of those, so it and you are calling the function, then it becomes very easy for a reader to understand that what your code is doing. So and for you also, if you are like in the interview though you won't get the chance, but if you have written your code somewhere in the lead code or in some other platform, you have written your code, and after 2-3 months you are going through your code to understand what you have written, it will be easy for you also to read the code that what you have written. So that is the good practices you have to follow, good coding practices you have to follow. So my instructor always used to say that coding is an art, it won't come in a day, it comes from experience. So once you keep on writing code, with time you will understand that which coding practices and which pattern I should follow to write a production ready code. So the main motive of my our program was to write production ready code. So initially it was very difficult for us because it just I just said that coding is an art. So so it won't come in a day. It can take up to years. So that was the focus, so that I used to do that. In the boot camps we used to learn that. From the Google, we have the immersion boot camps, and there we learned about the Google culture. So before joining Google, actually that 2 years Google program was meant to make us googly. So I was very not very like much aware about the Google culture and how the system works there. But now I work here, so I know stuffs in a much better way. But earlier also I was familiar with this stuff, with this.
One second last question. Like you got the opportunity of Google from that program, or you like applied somewhere else from the portal, or you get referral, or you
Ah,
directly applied. Directly get referral from your program, or you
yeah.
applied directly and
So
selected.
Google is yes, Google is very very unbiased in this. So it won't matter if you are in some Google's program, you have to follow the same path. So I applied in the career page, my resume got selected, and then I got the interview call. So it was like it wasn't anything special. It was same as it was for other candidates. So there's nothing special. But I knew many things. I have learned many things that has helped me to ace the interview. But you have to go through the same procedure that every other candidate is going through. So I have given two interviews. Google can take up to 2 to 3 interviews. For if there are few hiccups in your first or second interview, they will schedule a third interview. And for me, it was 2 interviews.
So that was nice journey of yours, like how you implemented everything, how you eagerly know everything from first year itself. You are curious. So thank you very much, Simli, for taking up time and sharing your knowledge with our audience. Thank you very much. Till
Thank
then,
you.
bye.
Bye.
Done.